We've been here on the mooring for over a month now. One of the things that we've been waiting on so that we can take off and go cruising is our new anchor chain, and it finally got here today. Here it is, delivered up there to Secret Harbor. And I've got my 8-plate splice all set up here. We're gonna get the road, which there's 200 foot of it, and it's all down in the anchor well, and we're gonna splice it to the end of the chain. So I'm gonna start that now. All right, I've got my first set of tucks in, following my little directions right here. There's the chain. I'm starting to weave the 8-plate back onto itself to make the splice. So I've got to do a couple more tucks, and then I'll start to taper it, and in the end it should be a nice even splice to keep our road to our chain. It's kind of gotten dark on us a little here because this is a little bit complex, but we're moving through it. I've gotten the first set done and I'm starting to taper it now. So yeah, I just sort of open it up, stick them through and pull it in. Hopefully when I'm done, it looks nice. So yeah, keeping on plugging away. Okay, I finally finished my splice last night at about dark 30, but we put the chain up on deck and I figured I'd finish organizing everything today. So here we go, that's 150 foot of chain. Still need to clean up my splice a little, but it's more or less done. I just need to burn the ends of the pieces I've got out there. You can see we've got the line spliced to the chain. Now I'm gonna flake the chain out and measure it and put some marks on it so we know how much chain we have out when we're anchored. Done the final tidying on the splice. Looks really good. There it is. Nice. That's really the end of it. I'm just gonna load it all into the chain locker, and yeah, that was the last thing we needed before. Now we're mobile. We could move around Grenada while we're waiting on our last few packages to get in, and then it'll be time to do some cruising. After a 2-month wait, we finally got our last delivery yesterday at 6 p.m. and it's just after 7 a.m. the next morning, and there was a weather window. We've got the boat already and we're gonna sail to Carriacou. So yeah, here we go. Boat's set up. There's the down below. Engine's on. Lindy's looking ready. Got the helm set up. All right, time to go sailing. Finishing season 7 the previous July in Grenada to sit out hurricane season, and then these months waiting on all our parts to come in, it had now been about 8 months since our last big sail. Along with the excitement, there's always a little bit of nervousness. Okay, we're out here sailing. The winds are fairly high, a little higher than Lindy and I usually go on. We're gonna try to make it up to Carriacou today, but we're sailing on a broad reach, and it's going well. We're moving along really nicely with just like a double reefed head sail. Here we are. There's Point Saline's in front of us. We'll have a nice easy hour or two going up the coast. That's when things will get interesting. So we're just gonna have to see how it goes today. so far so good. Yeah. Southern Grenada. How we doing, Lindy?
Good.
All right.
I was just thinking about us going on our first little like 8-hour sail from Grenada to Carriacou, and today I think the first American female to race solo around the world is finishing in Spain.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I think she's getting second place.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, yeah.
Gives you a little extra courage?
Well, or just a little bit of perspective on how nervous I should be.
Yeah, that does. All right. Boy, it's nice to be able to see through our new isinglass.
Should have rinsed it off. It's kind of dirty.
But it's even a little dirty. I couldn't see the last like 2 years. Nice. All kinds of new little things. Look at this handy dandy new winch handle. Boy, our old winch handles were probably about 40 years old, so kind of nice to have that. The autopilot is working great. We did another calibration on it. Things are good. Sailing along the southern coast of Grenada, like we had so many times over the last 4 years, was mostly the same except for one big difference this time. Over the past year, we had started to form a plan to head to some different areas of the Caribbean and set up camp. We love Grenada and it feels like a second home, but we were ready for some new horizons. So we sailed along knowing that at the very least, we might not see this southern coast again for many years. Still just got the head sail up, but I'll probably be putting the mainsail up at some point. We're gonna get away from Point Salines here first, because the winds are always a little squirrely right at the point. This is going well so far. Holiday actually sails really well with just the head sail, which is why we do it so often. And we're lazy. There was a lull in the wind right here next to Dragon Bay. The sculpture park is. So we turned on the motor, got the mainsail up. Yep, now we're sailing. We put some extra reef in the head sail because we're thinking the wind's going to be pretty strong in the gap, and we got 2 reefs in the main. But we've still got an hour or so before we're to the tip of Grenada, so for now we're just going to be sailing along. Okay, we can see Carriacou now and the islands in between, Ronde and Diamond. But the wind's gotten squirrely here as we're approaching the tip of Grenada, and they went from really strong to gone totally away and on the nose. So we're motor sailing at the moment, but it won't be long, and I'm sure we're gonna have some strong wind, and yeah, the seas will probably be up, but we'll see, and we'll just figure out how to handle it best. After waiting so long for our parts to arrive and finally getting ready to leave the southern bays, we probably left a little hastily and chose a day with a little bit more wind than we usually do. But here in early March, the wind typically is always blowing strong, and we didn't want to waste a day to start moving north. As we approached the north end of the island, the seas began to get lumpy and the winds were steadily rising. We also noticed that it didn't look like we would quite have a sailing angle, which meant motor sailing, my least favorite thing. Definitely don't tell Lindy that we were already seeing over 25 knots apparent wind speed and we hadn't even made it to the north of the island yet. Uh-oh, over 26. This is not going to be fun. Although right at the tip of the island is usually the worst of it. Out in the gap between Grenada and Carriacou was a pretty uncomfortable ride, and as we suspected, we did not have a sailing angle. But we were going around the east side of the Kikum underwater volcano, closer to Ronde Island in case we wanted to stop there for some rest. And we were hoping that after Kikum, when we turned more west towards Carriacou, that we could finally turn the engine off and do some sailing. Okay, so we've got the motor off and we've got a sailing angle now that we're past Kikum. But this is pretty wild. It's 18, 19 apparent right now, but it keeps going up to 23 or 24. We've just got a tiny scrap of head sail out, and I mean, we're heeled way over. But yeah, we've only got 12 miles to go.
It's going good. I'm glad the motor's off. It would be nice if the wind were to die a little bit or get a little bit further off of our nose. Less than an hour and a half left. I think we'll be glad to get anchored. What do you think, Lindy? Yeah. Oh man. Hold on. It's a wild ride. Okay, we've turned into the wind. I just dropped the main sail. Got it tidied up. Coming into Terell Bay. What a passage. Wow. There we go. Grenada fading in the distance. Wow. Yeah, so that was what, about 7 hours, Lindy? A long 7 hours. I'm tired. We're almost there. Go find us a spot to anchor and then let the relaxing begin. Anchor down. We're here. Wow. You glad to be done with that passage, Lindy?
Yes.
Oh man. Terell Bay. A lot of boats in here. Lindy has informed me that it is time to put the dinghy in the water so we can open up the front hatch and get some good airflow. Woo! All right, way to go.
It certainly was a rough passage, but what better way to recoup than eating a huge portion of one of Lindy's famous pasta dishes, with red sauce and some yummy sausage. Oh, and check out the new covers for our salon cushions. Lindy found these on Amazon and they just stretch over the old fabric, but we think they look super cool and really improve the vibe of the boat. The dish was looking great and Holiday was smelling amazing. All that sailing had worked up huge appetites. So it's our second day here in Carriacou. We've just been going to some of our favorite spots that we always like to go to. It's one of our favorite places. We just watched a nice sunset. Just awesome to have a different view out of the cockpit than Mount Hartman. Yeah, it's very nice here, but Carriacou is not really our goal here for our first bit of passage making. We're really wanting to get to Martinique because we spent a whole lot of time in Carriacou last year and in previous years. We've got some weather in a couple more days to go to Bequia. We're planning to set sail and hit Bequia, and then there's not any weather for the near foreseeable future to do the next legs towards Martinique. So we'll probably be in Bequia for a little while, week or more, we're not sure. Hopefully the sailing is a little bit easier than it was from Grenada to Carriacou. That was quite a bit sportier than what we normally like to do. That's it, just hanging out. I have to mention how incredibly sad we are that about 4 months later, Hurricane Beryl made a direct hit on this beautiful island of Carriacou, one of our favorite islands in the Caribbean. Our thoughts and prayers are with the people as they rebuild from almost total destruction from the damaging winds.
Really turn out all the way down. Edward.
Now comes the part where I usually spill it.
That was quite a bit